Krishna Krishna Yeduvara Krishna
Krishna Krishna Yeduvara Krishna
Krishna Krishna Yeduvara Krishna
Krishna Krishna Yeduvara Krishna
Murahara Keshava Yadava Madhava
Murahara Keshava Yadava Madhava
Murahara Keshava Yadava Madhava
Murahara Keshava Yadava Madhava
Krishna Krishna Yeduvara Krishna
Krishna Krishna Yeduvara Krishna
Murani Manohara Krishna Murari
Murali Manohara Krishna Murari
Murani Manohara Krishna Murari
Murali Manohara Krishna Murari
Krishna Murari Shama Murari
Krishna Murari Shama Murari
Krishna Murari Shama Murari
Krishna Murari Shama Murari
Murahara Keshava Yadava Madhava
Murahara Keshava Yadava Madhava
Krishna Krishna Yeduvara Krishna
Krishna Krishna Yeduvara Krishna
Sri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari
Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari
Sri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari जनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्ददामि भगवद्गीते भगवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः First of all, I am so happy that we are doing it in the abode of Bhagavan Krishna himself. That is very heartening. And also, this particular chapter is very dear to me because this points out or gives us ideas about how to prepare for meditation. The next chapter is on meditation itself. And thirdly, this year, Bhagavad children are learning this chapter for their competition. That is 2025, May or April, we have the competition. So, children are already learning Chapter 5. So, it's nice to explain even those parents who have their children participating. You can teach them a little bit of meanings also. How many of you are familiar with Bhagavad Gita? Almost 60-70%. How many of you are first time hearing about Bhagavad Gita? Not me, but broadly divided, Bhagavad Gita, first 6 chapters are about you. Then the next 6 chapters are about Bhagavan. And the last 6 are about how both are equal. Equal in the sense, in essence. And that is an explanation on the Tattvamasi Mahavakya. Tvam means you, Tat means that, Asi means are, that you are, or you are that. So, these first 6 chapters of Gita is about what an individual should do to uplift oneself to the higher consciousness. Gurudev used to say, before the doctor find out what the problem is, you have to see what your symptoms are, right? As Guruji Swami Tejamanji used to say, some people have problems and some people are problems. The question is whether Arjuna had problem or Arjuna is the problem. Uh, Arjuna thinks that he has a problem. Krishna had to point out, you don't have a problem. Then you are the problem. The way you think is the issue here. See, if you go to a doctor and then say, I have a stomach ache, headache, etc., it's isolated situation. Your headache does not mean you have a feet aching. Stomach ache does not mean anything else. So they can identify the problem area and then treat that part. But you have a problem of thinking. Where exactly would be the solution? Where should that doctor focus? Is there any particular part of the body has to focus? So the entire personality has to be transformed. The way of thinking should be changed. So Bhagavad Gita essentially is teaching us how to think. This is the reason why no matter when you read it, whether when you are young or when you are youth or when you are middle age or you are old, different problems are there in our life at different stages of life. When you are very young and you are going to school and etc., the problems are about what? Exams or competition or peer pressure. Then when you are in the university or and you are already a young man or young woman going to work, then it is more about corporate politics, climbing up the ladder, promotional issues, higher studies, should I do or not? Who is the best friend for me, girl or boy? All that. And how to really find a right person in life. So many things. So it is not the case with the young child which is 10-year-old has not that problem. So every stage we have different set of issues coming to us. In general, the way we think matters a lot. Unless we understand, the problem lies mainly in the way I look at the world, not the way the world is. Then half of our problem is solved. Instead of thinking of how to change the world, let us start focusing on how to change the way I look at the world. And Bhagavan Krishna had started to explain this to Arjuna. Because Arjuna poses the problem of situation is bad. Things are not in the way it should be. And I do not know how to face it. And Arjuna was very depressed, so to say, dejected, unwilling, unhappy, sorrow-stricken, deluded, symptoms of depression. Gurudev writes it very clearly. Nobody has analyzed the symptoms of depression more than Vyasa. And Bhagavan Krishna waited for him to complete his problem, his confession, or so to say, what actually is the issue. And slowly picks up the thread and starts. Okay, let me tell you. And the approach is very interesting because he starts with the overall picture. That is to say, we must have final purpose and goal of life in our mind. It's called Charama Lakshya. Charama means final. Lakshya means goal. We have to ask this question, what is my ultimate goal of life? Immediate problems will be there. As I said, today's problem may not be tomorrow's problem. This year's problem may not be next year's problem. When you were in India, Indian problems you had. Now you are US problems. And our Gurudev often say, and that's very fondly I remember, when you are in India, you are uncomfortably unhappy. Here you are comfortably unhappy. Only that much difference is there. So what is your charama lakshya? Final goal. If that is unclear, the immediate goal will look very big. Because if you look back in your own life, you will find that you had few issues and problems and obstacles. And today you have overcome that, or somehow you managed it and survived. But when I have an inspiring final goal, and keeping that in mind constantly will help me to look at the present problem from that standpoint. Let us say I'm climbing a mountain, trekking all the way, and I know the summit which I have to reach, maybe an hour or two it will take for me to reach there. That's why Kailash people go, right? So it's a 3 days trekking. And at some point of time you have to reach the topmost point, 90,000 feet. You prepare hard and start working on that from probably 6 months ago, 7 months before that. It's only 1 day's work, but you have to prepare for many, many months because it asks for that kind of a stamina. So when you are trekking, obviously you keep that in mind. On the way you may have some trouble, but that inspires you. I need to reach there. So when we have the charama lakshya very clear, then from that standpoint, when we look at immediate issues and problems, I can easily overcome that. But if I don't have that, this becomes very big. So Bhagavan Krishna, what he did was, in the second chapter of Gita, Sankhya Yoga, he clearly points out, moksha is the lakshya. Liberation is your final goal. And what is that? He explains. Last 18 verses of chapter 2 is about what is the goal and how the goal is lived by a person who is living in this world. Because until that point, Vedas point out as liberation as something which has to be obtained after death of the body, after departing from this body. Obviously, any intelligent person will ask, after departing from the body, I don't know whether I will reach there or not. And nobody has come back to tell me also. How do I know that there is something like that? So Vedanta standpoint is the moksha is not after the fall of the body. It is right now here. So keeping that moksha as the final goal. Here moksha must be defined clearly as that which is giving us the complete and fulfilling eternal peace. And that peace is undisturbed by the situations that I go through in life. Because having reached which, there is no more question of getting agitated over temporary problems and situations of life. I can reach here in this life itself. And that is the reason why the Mahatmas who have reached that state of oneness, with the state of oneness of that, the self, which is considered to be the abode of all peace, are considered as the true guides for the humanity. Those who are dead and gone have left their legacy of teaching. But those who are living alone can show you it is possible. Iheva sambhavati, iheva sambhavati. Here itself it's possible. So, Charama is pointed out in the chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita. Then Bhagavan said, okay, let me start from where you are right now and how to start the process. He started on Karma Yoga. That you are a man of action and nobody in this world can remain without acting even for a moment. Everybody has to act. Everybody has to work. Whichever be the profession that you have, whatever be this, ability and skills and qualification you have to work. So in this field of work, how to prepare you for that final goal? Not forsaking your personal responsibilities. Whether you are a wife or a husband, a parent, a brother or sister, or whatever it is, plus your additional professional work that you are doing, all these are to be considered as a stepping stones for reaching to the highest. So he spoke on Karma Yoga, how to engage in action as a preparation for liberation. Otherwise, and point is that when you go to university or any other professional college, they don't talk about moksha as your goal. Do they? First lesson in management, liberation. It's not that. It's about how to make money, how to finance, how to this the business, how to... that's what they talk about. So they don't talk about the final goal. Final goal, if at all they talk about, is profit. If you are leading a business organization, how to make money. They don't talk about personal goal of liberation. So, Bhagavan Krishna speaks about the goal and then the preparation for the goal in the field of action. Now, when a person thus engages in the field of action with that in mind, the first step is to purify the mind in such a way that when I do my action and the results are not according to what I want, should I get disturbed or not? Because our no work is done without thinking about the result. Correct? Everybody works based upon what profit I want or what result I want. And all actions are driven by result in mind. Nobody can say, without thinking about result, work. I can't. Nobody can. So it's a misinterpretation. Many times people speak like that, which is not correct. Without thinking about result, work. How? For what am I working then? I talk, whether you listen or not, I'm going to talk. So everybody will go away, still I'll be talking. Why? My nature is to talk. Nobody is there to listen. How foolish. Now obviously, any action we take, we keep the result in mind. The thing is that while you keep the result in mind, working hard towards that, do your best at this point. Don't become anxious about the result. The anxiety about the result is what is to be avoided, not that you should not think about the result. So your efficiency increases when the mind is focused on the action at hand. Doing the best you can. The result that would come out of that is not decided by your thought, right? It is decided by your action. So by thinking, you may probably have to think before you start the action because you have to plan for it. But while engaging in action, make sure 100% of your attention is doing the best here. Because Yogaha karmasu kaushalam. Efficiency in action. And as the results would come, how to face it? This is the next step. Because all people will not be winners. If everything happens the way we all want, where is God then? Right? We do our best, the result is not in your hand. That's what Bhagavan says very clearly. Result is not in your hand, but action is in your hand. And doing the best is in your hand. Whether the result will come according to your wish or not guaranteed. There are many factors will influence that. So, how to face the results, whether it is the result that you would like to have, or it is what you desired, or not the one which you expected. Trividam karmana phalam. 3 kinds of results will come out of your action. It can be what you wanted, ishtam, or that's something which you never wanted, anishtam, or it can be mixture of some part of it you like, some part of it you don't like. That's called mishram. It's like mixture, I don't know. So most South Indians think that it is spice. But Gujaratis think something else. So if you go to Gujarati home and ask for mixture, you get it. You think in your mind it is spice, but it will be good in that. That's called mishra. What you like will be there, what you don't like also will be there. Anishtam ishtam mishtam cha trividam karmana phalam. How do I face it? Should I become upset? Should I be angry? Or should I be elated? How to maintain the inner balance such that you don't lose your heart or too excited. Proceed on to the next step. So this way, Bhagavan Krishna explains the nature of karma yoga. So, karma pravritti api yoga abhyasaha. Even as you are engaging in action, you can maintain the equilibrium. That is yoga. Maintain the inner balance. Okay. If you maintain this way, your mind will be available to you most of the time without getting dragged away, taken away by anxiety or excitement or dejection or disappointments and failures or pride, ego, vanity. If you are successful, you become pride, ego, vanity will come. If you are unsuccessful, depression, dejection, sorrows will come. No, maintain that equilibrium there. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Then he goes to the next chapter, chapter 4. Not that he goes, now I am starting chapter 4. Not like that. He proceeds on. We divided into various topics. How knowledge helps in this whole reaching of that final goal and transition from karma to jnana. Only when the mind is pure, you will be able to recognize how important is the knowledge about the higher and to reach that final destination. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate. Nothing else can purify your mind than the correct knowledge. And how to prepare the mind from the path of action to path of knowledge. And what is this knowledge about? It is not something abstract somewhere sitting there up in the heaven. No. It is very much within you, very much you, the soul, which is essentially actionless presence. That actionless presence is the very abode of peace, that which you actually are. But that actionless presence of your own self, presently not able to comprehend, we are not able to comprehend because we are still so caught up in the world of action. So the transition is not that easy. Therefore, I will tell you what is karma, what is akarma, and what is vikarma. And I have to talk to you about what is action to be done, what should not be done, and what is the state of actionlessness. Karmanya karmaya pashyeda karmani cha karmaya sabuddhiman manusyeshu sayukta krishna karma krit. So this chapter of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, it's about jnana. How knowledge helps you to transition between karma and jnana, but not going to fully engage in knowledge, but how to prepare you for gaining knowledge. And how knowledge is important for this. Alright, now comes the 5th chapter. How to use the knowledge about the self in the field of action. Presently, when you go to a teacher and learn about the higher knowledge, by merely intellectually learning, one is not going to become able to practice it fully. That's why, when you are engineering, you are studying, then you become intern, right? Then only you know the obstacles and challenges that are there, even though theoretically you learned. But then when you come to practice, only you realize how much you have not learned. So what happens? You turn within. That's called intern. Now you realize that you have to get ready. Not merely intellectual. I have to put my own attention on this. I have to learn new skills, not merely a theoretical one. I need to know practical skills. More and more time you spend on refining your knowledge while you're in the field of activity to reduce your ego and impurities. At the same time, you get prepared for readiness, to prepare your readiness for fully available for jnanam. This is called sannyas. Sannyasa is merely just not working. It is having the ability to renounce your mental agitations while in the field of action, keeping the knowledge intact. As a person who is learning any skill must make sure that whatever he has learned is applied in the field of action to become successful. See, if Gurudev used to give this example, if you go to a mechanic shop, your car is in trouble, so you go to a shop, the mechanic, there are two kinds of people who will be there. One is a manager or supervisor there, another is a person who is actually repairing the thing. The fellow as a supervisor will be sitting inside the cabin and the fellow who is working will be in the workshop. Now, when you take the car and do for the repair, the person in the workshop will do according to the instruction of the one who is inside the cabin. Who do you tell the problem? To the person in the cabin. He says that this is my problem. Then he will put the thing, okay, this needs oil has to be changed, this has to be done, that has to be done. Then the whole list of it. Sir, these are the things to be done. Are you okay with this? Yes. Then it goes to the workshop and that fellow starts the working. The fellow who is working there may not have the theoretical knowledge, but practical knowledge he has got. Which screw to open and which oil to change, what needs to be, that he knows. Why? I don't ask me why. You go there. The fellow there, inside, he knows all the theory, but his hand is completely clean. Not even once he has got an oil in his hand. But both are necessary. So both the theory and practice come together and that makes the sannyasa complete. Sannyasin is not the one who merely has the theoretical knowledge. He must have the theoretical knowledge plus the practice. Then only it's complete. Otherwise, he will become a scholar. He may talk. When it comes to action, he is zero. This is a very important point because many people think sannyasa means choda sabko chodo chale jao. Go to some remote place, kavi vastra pehan ke chale jao. That is not right according to Krishna. That is actually painful. And we'll see how. So as you would start in this chapter 5 of Bhagavad Gita. Ata panchamodhyayah. Arjuna uvacha. Sanyasam karmanam Krishna. Punaryogam cha shamsasi. Yeshreya etayorekam. Tanme bruhi sunishchitam. Together. Arjuna uvacha sanyasam karmanam Krishna punaryogam cha shamsasi yeshreya etayorekam tanme bruhi sunishchitam. Gurudev used to say, Arjuna is a military man. A military man is one who wants to be commanded. And he will say, now pay attention, now march, left, right. At that time, why? You don't ask that question. When you are given the command, now start marching, you start marching. So Arjuna was asking, tell me something for sure. Tanme bruhi sunishchitam. Sunishchitam bruhi. What is to be without any confusion, any ambiguity, unambiguously tell me. What? He says, in the chapter 2, etc., you actually preach the path of renunciation. Because you said that final liberation is recognizing the actionless nature of the self. Even in chapter 4, he talked about that. That the self is not, that means the Paramatma who is there in our heart is not an actor. He doesn't engage in any action. And he says, Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyeda tattvavid. He's going to talk about that also. So you speak about the actionless self, and that alone is a complete peaceful nature. As you all know, I don't need to tell you, in another 3 hours, you will become actionless self. Isn't that? And you are not unhappy about it. In fact, you look forward to it. Is it not every day at the end of the day you look forward to going to bed and then lying down and become actionless? Only to get up in the morning and say, nicely slept. Shanti. Not only Shanti for me, to the world also. And somebody, this is my favorite joke. One person asked me, why do they put rest in peace? When somebody dies, R.I.P., rest in peace. Then you want to know the real answer? Yes. Because when he has become dead, rest of the people are in peace. Rest in peace. So when you go to the state of sleep, how much the world enjoys it. Right? that's a win-win situation. You are also at peace. The world is also at peace. What a wonderful thing. Anyway, so in that state of actionlessness, even take a state of dream. Let us look at that. In the state of dream, are you doing anything? Think and answer.
The mind is not the body.
Doing anything? Your mind? Running? Chased by a tiger?
Yes.
So you are lying on the bed, not doing anything, but you are actually experiencing action. Without the body doing a thing, there are two people there, apparently. One, the lying down, actionless. Another one, very active. Who are you then? Are you both or one of them? Think. Who are you? The actionless, lying down person you are, or the one who is running, chased by a tiger? Which one is you?
Neither.
Huh?
Neither.
Because when you wake up, which one is you? That will be the real one, right? In this context. When you wake up, what did you realize? I have been actionless even when all the activity of the mind is going on. I was exhausted, I was running. Only when I woke up from the dream, I realized tiger is not in the mind, it's lying next to me. Anyway. So, when you wake up and realize which one is right? Which one is right? So at this moment also, pay attention, at this moment also, you are both, apparently. The one who is running with your mind, you are. Presently, you may be thinking and doing, okay, after Swamiji finishes, what should I do now? I have to go back and do this. All those things are going on. But at the same time, you are the actionless self. Only from this world, when you wake up, you realize that, oh, actually I'm not doing anything. Now, so Bhagavan Krishna says, this real peace is the nature of the actionless self. But at the same time, you cannot reach that state of actionless self unless you recognize the false nature of this active self, for which you must slowly overcome from being anxious about the result, come out of it, engage in action. And various steps he has provided to Arjuna to slowly become mature to reach the point of actionless self. For the stepping stones for that is action. You cannot suddenly stop everything and say, oh no, I am an actionless, I am not doing anything. Akarma Atma, only for a few moments only. After that, one more desire will come. How about a coffee? Starbucks. And sitting down, I cannot have a Starbucks. I have to get out and then take a car and go there. Every desire will drive you to action. Only when you when you reach the state of total desirelessness, yes, then you are there. You don't need to do anything about it. It is there. Like, if I ask you, your sleep is somewhere out in the bed or in you right now? Swamiji, my sleep is actually in the bed. I go there and catch it. Is it so? Some of you are still already there, I know that. You don't need to go and lie down. So the state of sleep is where? In the bed or here? In your head? Better the head. So you have not invoked it, right? If I talk more, you will. So the state of sleep in me is something which is already in me. All that I need to do is I calm down the mind and remove the anxiety about what I need to do tomorrow. you have eaten extra dinner today. And it will be there. Instead of one rasagula, you took 4. It will be there. In the same way, this sthiti, jnana sthiti or shanti sthiti, avoidance in yourself is already there in me. Presently, I am so busy with other things. So unless I recognize the temporary nature, elusive nature of this, I cannot slip into that state of peace. Therefore, Bhagavan has to talk about both. What is the final state of a jnana sthiti or the state of peace, and the preparation for that known as yoga. Therefore, Arjuna's question is, tell me one of them. Sanyasam karmanam shamsasi. Karmanam yogam cha shamsasi. Sanyasam karmanam Krishna. Hey Krishna, sanyasam, renunciation to remain actionless, then karmanam yogam, engaging in action, both are you praising. In these two, etayoho, karma and jnanam. This jnana and karma, both are equally praised by you. Etayoho, between these two, ekam, one, yashreya, which is the best. Tad me bruhi, that you tell me. So obviously Krishna, you didn't understand that. You didn't understand that one is the state of actionless state of peace, is a goal, another is a means. And unless you adopt the right means, you cannot reach the final goal. Therefore, the goal and as well as the means to the goal, both are equally praiseworthy. Isn't that true? See, if you are going to a restaurant and eating masala dosa, now that dosa is really tasty. But is it not true the person who cooked is to be equally praiseworthy? The food is praiseworthy because the person who did work on that is fully skillful enough to make that tasty food. So the means as well as the end. If your end you are enjoying, you should definitely congratulate the one who cooked. Similarly, the state of actionlessness, self-abidance you call, Atma Samsthiti you call, that one is to be achieved, but the means through which you achieve is also equally important. Therefore, Bhagavan would say, both are equally praiseworthy. But what did he ask? One of them. Krishna will only smile. That means you didn't understand. He's very compassionate, saying that I have to explain to you how important is the means to reach the final goal. Therefore, as an answer to Arjuna's question, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Sanyasa Karma Yogascha
Sanyasa Karma Yogascha
Nishreyasa Karavubhau
Nishreyasa Karavubhau
Tayostu Karma Sanyasat
Tayostu Karma Sanyasat
Karma Yogo Vishishyate
Karma Yogo Vishishyate
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Sanyasa Karma Yogascha Nishreyasa Karavubhau Tayostu Karma Sanyasat Karma Yogo Vishishyate. You have asked for one of them. Which is the best? Between sannyasa and karma yoga. Sanyasa here means a total renunciation of action leading to abidance in the highest self, peaceful self. And the next, to prepare that, to go for that, the preparation is done by karma yoga. So sannyasa karma yogascha ubau nishreya. Both are equally worthy. Nishreyasa karau ubau. Both of them ubau nishreyasa karau. Nishreyasam karoti. Each one of them are equally important for bringing that final beatitude, final bliss. Nishreyasa means mukti, liberation. Both of them are important in the process. But see, always the teacher keeps in mind the quality or the qualification of the student. A teacher is one who who is aware of what kind of qualification or skill or ability, intellectual acumen, attentiveness each student has. Over a period of time, he can clearly judge it. But when he teaches, he will teach for everybody, and somebody catches, somebody won't. Few of them can catch it, some of them won't catch it. That's why in any school you have that 4 section of students, right? The first one is called nerds, right? Who are very studious, double thick class, always taking notes and remembering. Any question you ask, suddenly answer, immediately answer they will give. Yeah, first, second row or second group of people are those who are not as much interested in the studies. They are always thinking about, after the study, how will I make money out of this? They think about the financial part, making a business out of. The third category is one who are interested in how to manage the school that I can, how to use this entire system, how to manage the school such that I can be overpowering even the teacher. So they are the people who are little, what you call, unruly. They are called, we call USC, in the USC, in our California, University for spoiled children. Brats. They are all spoiled children. They have too much of money they have. So they are not interested in money. The second category is interested in money. First category is interested in knowledge. Second is money. Third one is ruling. How to take care of and how to rule, how to overpower, how to bring politics, how to make sure that everybody listens to me. Then they are looking for, attention. The last category is real troublemakers. They have nothing to do with the school, nothing to do with the study, nothing to do with anything. They are there as just polishing the chairs. They are there, they're tagadas. They spend most of their time in the gym. Any kind of trouble, tell us whom to attack, what to be broken. Raise the flag, we are all ready. They are not interested in neither money, nor in study, nor in politics. They are in breaking and disturbing the whole place. Right? These are the 4. I have seen that. In any school you go, there are 4 people. The interesting thing is, the first category of people will become professionals. The second category of people are those who use those professionals. Businessmen. And third becomes the politicians. You use the businessmen. Right? So you will find first category of people are employed, the second category are employers, the third category is the politicians who decide the policies. Fourth category is the gundas. They are actually the highest. They are the underground mafia group. They use the politicians. So who is now powerful? The last one. Anyway, why am I going there? Point is that teacher always recognizes the nature of the qualification of the student. And accordingly he will speak, specifically addressing the issue of the individual student. Here Arjuna is the only student he has learned. He's not addressing a whole group of people. And most of us fall in that category. That's the point. We all fall into the category and qualification of Arjuna. Who is he? Who is skeptic, intelligent, want his questions to be answered, and without he getting his questions answered, he will not move. Right? That's why when you tell your children, when they are small, do this, and they will do it. When they become teenagers, do. Why? Why should I do it? Why didn't you ask my brother to do it? Can I do it after tomorrow? However much I can escape, I can escape. So here Arjuna is a one who is very skeptic, intelligent, curious, and he would not do anything without being convinced. So here, to convince Arjuna, he says, Arjun, karma yoga is greater than sannyas. See, please understand the context. Therefore, even though in the first line what he said, both are equally good. You see the contradiction there apparent. Sanyasa karma yogasya nishayasa karau ubhau. Both of them equally are going to give you the moksha. But in that, tayostu, among those two, karma sannyasat, that renunciation of action, karma yoga, engaging in action with the right attitude, vishishyate, excels. Keeping Arjuna in mind. You will not find this in Upanishad. Because what the Upanishad would say? Sanyasadeva kaivalyam. Na karmana, when just now he chanted, na karmana, na prajaya, dhanena, tyage, neike, amritatvamanasahu, right? Sannyasa, that is the point of Upanishad. But when it comes to Bhagavad Gita, keeping that particular student in mind, like you and I, Arjun, then karma sannyasa, renunciation of action, karma yoga vishishyate. Now you will explain why I'm saying this. Nyeyasa nitya sannyasi yo nadveshti na kankshati nirdvando hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyate nyeyasya nitya sannyasi yo nadveshti na kankshati nirdvando hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyate. Bandhat mochanam sannyasa. Renunciation is liberation or freedom from bondage. That is why people are ready to do that. Sannyasa yoga. Kyun? Too much of trouble in the beginning. So that kind of an attitude is escapism. Escapism is termed as sannyasa. Giving up is easy. Anybody can do it. Right? I don't want to do it. But giving up physically is not sufficient. Mind has to give up. In the mind, if you still have a desire for it, it's a question of time. It will go back again. Many of us, therefore, Swamiji, 9 days vratam, for what? 10 days. Navaratri. 11th day you should see her. Eat, oh, eat. Why did you do 9 days of torture then? That is a tradition, Swamiji. All these 9 days, what you are meditating upon? Food. It's better to eat the food than thinking about the food constantly. So, if you are not giving up in your mind, what is the point in giving up physically then? So, here Krishna says, real sannyasa, I'll tell you what it is. Sanyasa nitya sannyasi. He can be considered as a true renunciate. Understand, Arjuna. Nyeya, to be known. Saha, such a person. Nitya sannyasi, true renunciate. Yaha, he who nadveshti nakamshati. Neither hates nor he becomes too inclined, too desirous. Neither he passionately desires something, nor he hates anything. Na dveshti, na kamshati. Meaning, his mind does not put tag on them. This I don't like, and this I like. One who is not branding the world as likes and dislikes, he is not disturbed whether it is there or not. Isn't it? If I do not have any inclination to drink means the spirituality in bottles. That one. And if you keep in front of me a wine bottle or a beer bottle or whatever, since I don't have any inclination to drink, I don't care it is there or not. If I have a mental, disturbance that, oh, this will be bad, and if I take it away from me, I don't want this. That means you are weak. That is strong. Why are you disturbed? The very disturbance means that you are intolerant. You are not able to control your mind. Or I have a weakness for it. If you keep it, I may drink. Then don't keep it next to me. If you do not have any inclination, how does it matter whether it is there or not? You take it away, it doesn't matter. You keep it there, it doesn't matter. This is the nature of sannyas. He neither runs away from the world, nor he goes on embracing the world for his own personal desires and ambitions or indulgences. So true sannyasa is the balance. Therefore, nirdvandvaha. Oh Mahabaho. He addresses Arjun. Mahabaho. Oh Arjun, you have mighty shoulders, but actually that is not matter. Do you have the enough strength in your mind? What is the strength? Nirdvandvatvam. Dvandva means duality. Nirdvandva means one who has gone beyond these dualities. What? Sukham dukkam. Hatred and liking. Joy and sorrow. Happiness and happiness. Success, failure. These dualities of life he has overcome. And such a person alone, sukham, very easily, bandhat pramuchyate. He becomes free of all bondages. For bondages are created by your mental inclinations. Nobody is binding you. So I'm in bondage, Swamiji. Who's binding you? I didn't see any rope anywhere. Where is the rope? Mentally I am attached to something. Is that even putting a vehicle and attached to your wife? Is it not your mind that is attached to the shoe that you left behind there? I hope my shoe is there. New shoe. Pudu shoe. Then I kept it there. I hope nobody is taking it. Temples are famous for this. One part of the mind is still sitting there. So when I am mentally attached, I am in bondage. Sukham bandhat pramuchyate saha. Such a person alone is the one who can easily come out of bondage when his mind is neither hating nor liking it. He is beyond these dualities. So, the sannyasa does not mean escape from the world, run away to some isolation, go somewhere in the corner, some guha in the Himalayas. No. Right there in the middle of the action, middle of transaction, middle of all the activities, the mind is steady and unmoving, balanced. That is a sannyasa. Right? And that is to be achieved where? See, it is like first time when you are learning how to drive a car. Where were you doing it? Marketplace. It's empty parking lot. Because you don't want to kill anybody while you're driving. That's why somebody asked me this question. Swamiji, when should I allow my teenage girl to drive a car? I said, first thing, when she is ready to drive a car, don't stand on her way. So when I am ready to drive a car, or when you are learning to drive a car, I need to have certain situation, external situation created that I don't go, because I don't know how to drive properly, so I may probably hit someone. So in the beginning stages of renunciation, one may have to do a lot of indriya vairagya. Tempting things should be avoided so that the mind does not get disturbed. But as one progresses in the maturity of sannyas, slowly, external situations do not matter. The mind is so mature and tuned, irrespective of the place outside, the mind remains in balance. And as much as a well-skilled driver, he can drive even in the Chennai traffic. If you ask these teenagers to take a car and go to India and drive, they can't move an inch. Why? Because no lanes. You may think there is a lane, but that's only for Namke Vaste there. You go, you didn't put an indicator. Nobody cares. So these people who are never driven anywhere else except in US, will be in trouble. But a person who is driven in India, you put me anywhere. Because I drove in Calcutta. You know how many of them are there? Suddenly one buffalo will come in between. We know how to do it. Anyway, so nirdvandvo hi mahabaho sukham bandha pramuchyate. Such a person alone is capable of balancing himself. Such a person alone can be considered as sannyasi. Now, the technical word that is used for the path of knowledge is called Sankhya, which is used in the chapter 2, Sankhya Yoga. And the third chapter is about Karma Yoga. So whenever we say Sankhya, which means Jnanam, Yoga, when we say it is Karma Yoga. Both, as I said, are equally important in the sense, unless you know the means, you do not know how to reach the goal. Unless you know the goal, you do not know what to do. Both are equally important. They are not two different things. They are, that's what he is going to say next one. Sankhya yoga pratak bhalaha.
Sankhya yoga pratak bhalaha.
Pravadanti na panditaha.
Pravadanti na panditaha.
Ekamapyastitas samyak.
Ekamapyastitas samyak.
Ubayor vindate phalam.
Ubayor vindate phalam.
Sankhya yoga pratak bhalaha. Pravadanti na panditaha. Ekamapyastitas samyak. Ubhayor vindate phalam. Balaha pravadanti. Balaha means immature ones. They say Sankhya and Yoga are pratak, different, as though they are different from each other. Sankhya Yoga pratak balaha pravadanti. The path and the reach, or the path and the goal are two different. Jnanam tata karma, they are two different paths. They don't meet each other at all. This is how balaha pravadanti na panditaha, not men of knowledge. Here again I reiterate this point, karma is not mere rituals, to be understood clearly. We are not talking about karma as a ritual, because the ritualistic portion of the Vedas talk about the liberation as obtainment of heavens. After gaining punya or enough merits through the rituals, one may reach, after the fall of the body, heavenly various different worlds of pleasure. That is not what Bhagavan Krishna calls here as karma, yoga. That's why he uses the word yoga instead of karma. When he says yoga, he means karma, yoga, which means action performed with liberation in mind, and action performed for the sake of balance, action performed for the sake of purity of the mind, action performed as an offering to God. Such is called yoga. Because action, when it is performed without thinking about the result, then kiske liye kar raha hu? When I have, see, in general, when people work in this world, they keep the goal in mind, they keep the plan for that, and while working also, they are constantly checking whether they are reaching the goal at all or not. That is the usual case. That's why I said anxiety of the goal is constantly there in the mind, and therefore efficiency also goes down. On the other hand, Karma Yoga prescribes having fixed your action towards the goal while engaging in action. Keep Bhagavan, the one who is going to give you the result, in mind. Bhagavan, aapke liye kar raha hu. Then if I deserve the result correctly, you may give. Because I cannot decide it. See, if 3 people are running in a running race, one of them only will win. One of them who has trained himself very well only will win. Even all the 3 of them want, even though all the 3 of them want to win. In the same way, any action we take, the result we may keep in mind, but what happens is not in our decision. And then who decides that? The deciding factors are many. So, keeping the mind calm and I am dedicating to the Lord, with that attitude and a person acts, that is called Karma Yoga. He's not talking about rituals of reaching to the heavens, because a person performing rituals, most of the time they are interested in the punya and then reaching to the heaven than Bhagavan. Many of the ritualists you will find, Bhagavan is the last one and they will bother about. They are only interested in how much punya did I get the punya, did I get the merits so that I can go to the heaven, which is after the fall of the body, I may have better state of experiences. Many of these people who do this, what is that called? Satyanarayana Puja. They're interested. The stories are very scary, they scare you to death. And also the prasad at the end. That's also important. One third sugar, 1/3 rava, and 1/3 ghee. Well, you think about the result then, after eating that. So most of the rituals are about bhoga, unfortunately. Either yaga bhoga or amutra bhoga, meaning some other word of bhoga. There is no tyaga there. The rituals are not with the tyaga mind. The rituals are with the bhoga in mind. So now will you then? So yoga, on the other hand, is where a person is able to let go of the anxiety of the results of the action and only replace it by with a devotion to Bhagavan. One who finally decides what it should be. And he the one who is making even me capable of doing this. With that bhava, when it is done, it is karma yoga. So sanyasa karma yoga. So sanyasa yoga pratakiri balaha pravatanti na panditaha. Then he says ekamapi astita samyak. Ekam, in one api, even one samyak astitaha, when one performs it correctly, upayoho palam vindate, he will receive the result of both, meaning purity of mind also, and while engaging in that action with such a detachment from the anxiety of the result, the freedom is experienced there itself, not afterwards. After all, you see, as I said earlier also, the nature of the self, which is of the nature of peace, is available even now, right now to us. We are staying far away from it, being so caught up in the world of action. When our mind becomes less anxious, the inner peace available to you, not after the action. Karmani eva sukham. In that action itself, you start seeing the glimpse of it. When the mind has become pure, the mind has become one-pointed, the mind has become calm. Even engaging in action when the mind is offering all action to Bhagavan the Lord, and the mind is not anxious about the result, and the mind is focusing only on the best of what I can do in this field of action, mind is so calm and peaceful, you will see the result here itself. And when it is assured that here itself, proceeding further will be, for final result will be there for sure. So it is said in Vedanta, liberation is not at some point of time, suddenly you wake up, liberated. No, the whole process itself is a gradual progress of that. As the desires start reducing, liberation starts increasing. The freedom increases as the desires decrease. Is it not the usual cell phone boardman? What is it? Total number of desires entertained divided by total number of desires fulfilled. Correct or not? Or the other way around? Total number of desires fulfilled divided by total number of desires entertained. If I have 50 desires, out of which one by 50, 50 desires entertained, only one achieved. What is my joy? 150. Because 50 of them, out of it only one has been completed. Bucket list, only one. Now we keep on trying to increase the denominator or denominator? What do we increase? Nominator or denominator? Numerator, sorry, not denominator. Numerator or denominator? Which one?
Numerator.
We try to increase the number of desires that can be fulfilled, while number of desires also increasing. So 2 by 50, suddenly 2 by 100. Oh my. Same, 1 by 50. Again you came back to 1. Half 1 by 50 only. So the whole karma yoga methodology, how to reach that state of peace is reduce here. Denominator you keep on reducing. 50, then 30, then 20, and then 10, and 5, 0. When it becomes 0, what happens? Anything you get or don't even get also. Infinite happiness. So as you proceed on reducing the desire, then even as you're doing in simple things becomes joyful. So the freedom is gained by karma yoga right now. So ubayoho palam vindate. Whether you walk the path of knowledge of reducing the desires by understanding that the desires are the cause of my inner agitations and bondage. By knowledge, either you come to understand the emptiness of these desires, temporariness of the desires, or while engaging in action, offer it to the Lord and proceed on. The result will be the same. Ekamavi asti tas samyak jnana yoge va atava karma yoge va ekamapi samyak astitaha upayoho phalam vindate. You will gain the result of both. Both are going towards the same result of liberation. Continuing here, he says, Yat sankhye prapyate sthanam
Yatsankhye prapyate sthanam
tad yogairapi gamyate
Tadyogairapi gamyate
ekam sankyam cha yogam cha
Ekam sankhya cha yogam cha
yat pashyati sa pashyati
Yat pashyati sa pashyati
yat sankhye prapyate sthanam tad yogairapi gamyate ekam sankyam cha yogam cha yat pashyati sa pashyati yat sankhya yogam prapyate. Whatever be the result that is gained out of path of knowledge, tat yogairapi gamyate. That is available by karma yoga also. That is why it says karma sanyasa, karma yoga vishishyade, keeping you in mind, Bhagavan says Arjun, because you are in the field of action. Ekam sankyam cha yogam cha. Indeed, both path of knowledge and action are one only. One who sees, he really sees this. One who understands, means one who understands, he understands. Oh, I see. That's what I mean. You don't see, but you understand. So, actually answered the question. In 5th verse he finished. Right? Which is the one you tell me, ekam vada nishchitya, right? Nishchayam bruhi tanme. One thing you tell me. Answer. So no class tomorrow. Answer is over. What did he answer? Which one needs to be followed? Whichever you follow. But for you, I suggest karma yoga. Then now you will talk about how even though both are going to reach the same result, the importance of both in their own ways we have to inform. You have to get informed about, or we have to know about, because we have to start judging where I am at this point. What should be my path? It's not totally only sannyas and totally karma yoga. No, I have to start balancing correctly. And when exactly I know I am ready to take it's like, when you're coming in a car, and you have to actually go to that. When this cars are coming, you put an indicator and wait, then move. Especially when you're entering into the freeway, the speed of which they are going is so fast. Then you enter into it and then wait for the right occasion to enter in there. In the same way, the path of knowledge is no doubt is a direct path, whereas karma yoga is a relatively slow path. Because still there is so many inner obstacles that of desires have to be overcome. But how to overcome that and gain to the quick path to reach there, even though the result is going to be the same. But here, it will take its own time to reach there. This path of knowledge is the fast lane. Fast lane, not all of them are qualified. But the result is the same. You go a little slow here. Because he cannot say, Arjun, you're a very slow person. Huh? But we have to recognize what is slowing us down. And how do I speed up? So that needs to be understood. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ